Greetings to the saints at St. Margaret. Some of you will remember last year that I came to you at this time and shared with you the story of my son Brandon, who died from complications of a gunshot wound. As a member of the Living Without Fear ministry team here at St. Margaret's, I'm speaking today again to remind all of us of the anniversary of the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School. It took place in Newtown, Connecticut on December 14th, 2012. In honoring the memory of the lives of the 20 first grade children, the 4 elementary school teachers, the principal, and the school psychologist who died that day, we hope to raise awareness of the toll of gun violence in our country. Our attention has been drawn to other epidemics in the year 2020. We're struggling with rising cases of the coronavirus and the realities of racial inequality and police brutality. But even though mass shootings barely make headlines in 2020, gun deaths and violence have not declined during the pandemic. During the first 10 months of this year, as reported in the Gun Violence Archives, there have been 15,646 gun deaths, 32,459 gun injuries, over 1,800 unintentional shootings, and the Center for Disease Control reports 20,000 gun suicides. On average, 100 people a day die from gun violence in America. Charlie Warzel in the New York Times has written that his biggest fear is that the pandemic response would mirror our treatment of the gun violence epidemic. We would get used to the dying, he fears, that our leaders are too cowardly to enact responsible policies. And a debate about health and science would be hijacked and politicized by extremists, reducing complex policies to a false binary, freedom versus tyranny. He quotes a journalist from Nova Scotia, where the virus has been contained, and describing freedom as the ability to make hard choices for each other, not an excuse to serve one's own interests. Our ministry team here at St. Margaret's has a mission of helping us turn from fear to freedom and faith. Living in Christ gives us the opportunity of freedom from the bondage to our own self-interest. This allows us to wear a mask to protect others and to work for sensible gun legislation, to work for improved accessibility to mental health treatments, and the awareness, intervention, and inclusion in our schools, in our churches, in our communities, to help stem the tide of gun violence in our country. When we honor the sacredness of every human being, we are called to do no less. One concrete way to do this is to donate your change or more to our annual collection for Everytown. You remember them. It's a movement of Americans that sprang from the tragedy in Newtown to work together to reduce gun violence and build safer communities. For those of us who worship online, you can send a check, even a small one, to St. Margaret's and put Sandy Hook in the memo line. For those who attend worship in the Labyrinth or in your cars, there will be a member of the Living Without Fear team there to collect your donation. Thank you in advance for letting those families in Newtown know that we have not forgotten their loss. Thank you.